Listen, you're making a mistake right now, and I say this with care, but hear me clearly. You're believing that your current financial situation is your final destination, but God has something far greater planned for you. And if you don't pay attention until the very end, you're going to miss it. You'll miss the moment God opens the heavens and releases what you've been praying, fasting, and hoping for. You've watched other videos, you've heard sermons, you've read books, but deep inside you still feel stuck, like you're climbing a mountain that never stops growing. I know that feeling. I've lived that feeling. I thought I'd never escape it. But then God intervened in my life. He released something I never expected. And He's about to do the same for you. This is not exaggeration. This is divine timing. If you're watching this, it's not by accident. God doesn't do random. This is your confirmation. So listen. Remove distractions. Close every other tab. Silence your phone. Don't just watch this. Experience it. Because by the end of this message, chains will break, perspectives will shift, and you'll be positioned for the financial breakthrough that has been chasing you in the spirit. You've been taught to rely on what you can see, your paycheck, your job title, your savings, or the economy. But the truth is, you've been limiting yourself to an earthly system that was never designed to carry you. Listen carefully. God's provision is not limited by natural circumstances. He's not bound by inflation, market crashes, or recessions. He doesn't need permission from banks or companies to bless you. When God decides to provide, no one and nothing can stop it. Right now, you may feel there's no way out. You've followed the rules. You've worked hard. You've stayed consistent. You've prayed. And yet, nothing seems to change. But I want you to understand something that will change your whole perspective. God's timing is perfect. He loves to show up when you least expect it. That moment when hope seems gone, when you're barely holding on, that's when He releases the blessing you didn't see coming. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you worried about your needs, and yet here you are? You made it this far. You weren't abandoned. You weren't forgotten. That's not coincidence. That's divine provision. He has been sustaining you even when you didn't notice. Philippians 4:19 says, "And my God shall supply all your need according to His riches in glory by Christ Jesus." Not some of your needs, all of them. That verse doesn't set conditions based on the economy or your qualifications. It says God will supply all your need, period. Why? Because it's not about what's in your hand, it's about what's in His. Here's what I've learned. You can't receive miracles with a mind fixed on logic. God's provision often looks impossible. He brings water from rocks, bread from heaven, and provisions from unexpected places. That's not natural, it's supernatural. And if you want to receive it, you have to release control. I know that's difficult. We're taught to plan, to structure, to make sure everything adds up. But faith is trusting what we cannot calculate. It's saying, God, I don't know how, but I know you will. 2 Corinthians 9:8 says, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." That's the God you serve. He doesn't just meet needs, He exceeds them. He doesn't just pay the bill, He cancels the debt. He doesn't just provide a job, He opens doors you never even knew existed. Too often, we try to do God's work ourselves. We stress, calculate, overthink, and our hands are too full to receive what He's offering. What if your next financial breakthrough isn't about working harder, but trusting more? What if God has been waiting, not for your effort, but for your surrender? God's provision isn't reactive, it's proactive. He has already made a way before you even realized you had a need. But He's waiting for you to shift your mindset, to believe again, to open your heart to what He has prepared. Ask yourself, are you ready to stop trusting the system and start trusting the source? Are you willing to say, God, I trust you even when I don't see it. I trust you when numbers don't make sense. I trust you when deadlines loom and accounts are low, because that's where miracles appear, in total dependence on the one who never runs dry. He's not finished with you. He's not ignoring you. He hasn't overlooked your situation. In fact, the reason you're hearing this right now is because God is preparing to release something you didn't see coming. It will be unexpected, it will be undeniable, and it will be unmistakably from Him. But you have to believe, not in the system, not in your own strength, not in your next paycheck, but in Him. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, but what if the biggest obstacle isn't external? What if the chains are around your thoughts, not your finances? Your mindset may be the battlefield heaven is trying to reach. Let me be honest. Some limitations in your finances aren't just physical. They're mental and spiritual. You can't break free in the natural if you remain bound in the unseen. Many people stay trapped in cycles of lack, not because God didn't provide, but because they never broke free from a poverty mindset. The spirit of limitation has whispered lies for too long. You'll never have enough. You don't deserve more. You're only meant to survive. Those lies didn't come from God. They came from somewhere else. Today, you must fight them. Your breakthrough begins with a shift in your mind, not a deposit in your account. If you think like a prisoner, you'll never live like a king. I learned this the hard way. There was a time I believed struggle was my destiny. I thought lack was humility. I thought being broke was virtue. But I was wrong. I wasn't living with purpose. I was bound. God didn't save you to scrape by. He saved you to live in abundance. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. Not the world, not your boss, but God. He gave you creativity, wisdom, and ability. But if your mind is trapped in fear, you won't use what He gave you." That's why the enemy attacks your thoughts. If he can keep you thinking small, doubting promises, and fearing the future, he doesn't need to touch your money. He's already paralyzed your potential. Break those lies by speaking truth every day. Declare, "I am the head and not the tail. My God supplies all my needs. I am not cursed, I am blessed." Speaking truth removes the lie's power. This isn't self-help, it's spiritual warfare. Malachi 3:10 says, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and see if I will not open the floodgates of heaven, and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it." You want blessing? Align your obedience. This is a divine principle. When you walk in obedience, you give God access to bless your life. Partial obedience leads to partial access. You can't ask for a blessing in an area you refuse to surrender. It's time to break free. No more limiting beliefs. No more shame around money. No more generational cycles of scarcity. You are not here to just survive. You are here to thrive. God isn't waiting for next year to act. He's waiting for your agreement now, but He won't force it. You must stand, speak, and step forward. Say it. I break every mindset of limitation. I receive what heaven has promised me. I am positioned for abundance. Today is the start of your freedom, your overflow, your new life. Breakthrough, your abundance. But it begins with a renewed mind and a surrendered heart. You're not hearing this by accident. God is calling you into freedom. Will you step forward? So now that the chains are loosening, let me ask you something real. Are you actually prepared for the miracle you've been praying for? Because blessings don't settle on disorder, they settle where there is preparation. You've been praying for a breakthrough, but are you positioned to receive it? Because here is the truth. God doesn't pour fresh oil into a vessel that is cracked and leaking. He is a God of miracles, yes, but He is also a God of alignment, structure, and readiness. You're asking for overflow, but are you living with expectation or only with desperation? Expectation trusts, desperation fears, and the difference between the two can determine whether you receive or miss what God is getting ready to release. There were seasons in my life when I cried out to God, asking, "Where is my miracle?" But deep inside, I wasn't ready. I wasn't walking by faith. I was walking in fear. I wasn't caring for what I had. I was letting it slip through my fingers, and I had to accept a difficult truth. God is not obligated to support disorder. He blesses structure. He blesses obedience. He blesses faith that moves, not fear that hides. Luke 6:38 reminds us, "Give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap." And that is not only about money, it is about the condition of your heart. When you give freely, when you live with open hands and an obedient spirit, you create a space that heaven rushes to fill. But if your hands are closed in fear, God cannot place anything into them. You must release in order to receive. Preparing for a miracle means cleaning the house, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. Be honest with yourself. Are you managing what you already have with integrity, or are you living in constant disorder? Miracles do not settle on chaos. Sometimes the most spiritual step you can take is to organize your budget, pay off debt, cancel unnecessary expenses, and stop wasting what God already placed in your life. That is not being legalistic. That is preparation. It is making room for heaven to act. Proverbs 3:9-10 says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops, then your barns will overflow." Notice the order. Honor comes before overflow. If you're asking for a miracle but not honoring God with how you handle what you have, you might be closing the very door you are asking Him to open. God does not bless rebellion. He blesses surrender. And do not be surprised if your financial breakthrough comes through a test of obedience. Sometimes God will ask you to sow, to serve, to give when it seems unreasonable. He is not trying to take from you. He is preparing you to carry what He is about to give. Don't fail the test because of fear. I've been in that place, and I almost missed what God had for me because I was more committed to comfort than to calling. So let me ask you again, are you prepared to receive what you've been praying for? Because miracles do not fall at random. They come to those who are aligned, surrendered, and ready. Allow God to prepare you. Let Him remove the things you are holding on to that are actually holding you back. Let Him renew your mindset, your habits, your heart. Because the miracle isn't only about finances. It is about who you are becoming on the journey. You're not only waiting on God, He is also waiting on you. And the moment your heart, your hands, and your habits align, the release will come suddenly. Position yourself not with panic, but with peace. Not with fear, but with faith. Your miracle is already moving toward you. Make sure you are ready when it arrives. But when the blessing shows up, will you recognize it, or will you miss it because it did not arrive in the form you expected? Stay with me now. This next part may shift your whole viewpoint. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every open door is from God. And just because something seems like a blessing doesn't mean it was sent from above. This is why discernment is essential. If your spirit is not trained to recognize God's hand, you might label a trap as a blessing and enter a season you were never meant to live through. Think of it like this. When God blesses you, it comes with peace, purpose, and stability. When something is designed to distract you, it comes with pressure, confusion, and compromise. If you've been praying for provision, you need more than an open door. You need wisdom to see which doors are from Him. James 1:17 says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, who does not change." Did you hear that? Good, perfect, from above. That is the standard. If it pulls you away from God, it is not good. If it asks you to abandon your values, it is not perfect. If it fills you with anxiety instead of peace, it is not from above. I've seen these situations. People receive unexpected money and immediately call it a miracle, only to find out later that it led them into debt, stress, or wrong decisions. God does not bless you only to increase your income. He blesses you to increase your character. His blessings uplift your life without damaging your soul. And many financial breakthroughs begin with small, almost unnoticed acts of obedience. Look at 1 Kings 17:14. The widow was not given a warehouse of flour. She had to use the little she had, and God multiplied it. Your miracle may not arrive in a dramatic way. It may appear as an idea, a person, a small opportunity. Don't look down on the small things. They are often divine seeds for significant breakthroughs. So how do you recognize God's hand? You look for His signature. You look for peace, confirmation, alignment with His word, and lasting impact. You examine your heart. Are you closer to God now than before, or did the increase distract you? God's blessings do not pull you away. They draw you closer. Here is the powerful truth. God's timing is supernatural. What seems late to you is perfectly timed in heaven. Don't rush into anything out of desperation. Delay does not mean denial. It may simply mean God is still protecting you from something you cannot yet handle. Wait for His signal, not your emotions. You are about to receive something that makes no natural sense, but aligns perfectly in the Spirit. Keep your eyes open and your heart clean. Don't chase the blessing. Chase the one who gives it. And when the miracle arrives, you will know it wasn't coincidence. It wasn't luck. It was God's hand from the beginning. You've heard what God can do. Now let me remind you what He is already doing. Because testimonies are not just memories. They are prophecy for your own journey. Let me tell you something to revive your faith. God still moves suddenly. The same God who turned water into wine, the same God who fed thousands with a small offering, is still working financial breakthroughs today. And yes, He is preparing one for you. You may have waited months, even years. But let me remind you, what takes the world a decade, God can accomplish in a moment. I've seen it. I've lived it. And I know you've heard stories that made you whisper, "Why not me?" Maybe you've felt overlooked. Maybe it seems opportunities open for everyone except you. But the truth is, God has not forgotten you. He has been preparing the perfect moment to show you His faithfulness. I remember a time when I had nothing. My account was empty, bills piling up, pressure so heavy it felt hard to breathe. I was praying but doubting, hoping but hurting. I almost accepted the struggle as permanent. But then, one simple phone call changed everything. A forgotten seed I had given years earlier came back multiplied, a divine connection, unexpected provision, no explanation, just God. Psalm 66:12 says, "We went through fire and water, but you brought us into abundance." That verse describes your life. You've been through fire, the pressure, the pruning. You've been through water, the storms that tried to drown your joy. But you're still standing, and God is leading you out, not into survival, but into abundance. Sometimes your breakthrough is one divine connection away, one person God assigns to open a door you could never open yourself. This is why you cannot isolate yourself in difficult seasons. Your breakthrough might be hidden in a conversation, a relationship, a meeting only God can arrange. Stay faithful, stay open, stay expectant, and never underestimate the power of the anointing. It is not just a spiritual phrase, it is the active power of God to break heavy burdens and release heaven's supply into your life. Financial pressure is a heavy burden. Generational lack is a heavy burden. Living paycheck to paycheck with no vision is a heavy burden. But here is the good news. The anointing breaks it, not weakens it, not loosens it, breaks it completely and permanently. That is why I want you to pay attention. Other people's testimonies are not just their stories. They are prophetic signs of what God can also do in your life.